Hey everybody, what's up? My name's Adam and welcome to Jamsville. So today's video is going to be geared towards all of you who might be about college age and are getting ready to do your jazz guitar pre-screen auditions for music school. So myself having a master's degree in jazz performance, I've gone through this whole entire rigmarole of auditioning at a bunch of different schools multiple times, so I wanted to give you my top 4 tips to having a successful pre-screen audition on jazz guitar. Number 4, give yourself plenty of time. Now this is a long-term and a short-term tip. So long-term is that you want to give yourself time to prepare the repertoire that you're gonna play. Give yourself plenty of time to practice and get comfortable with all of it, because you don't want to be learning new material like right before you're going to do these recordings. But in a short-term scale, you also want to give yourself plenty of time on the day that you're going to do the recordings. Now, depending on your skill level, if you're already some kind of musical genius, then you'll probably be able to nail all the recordings in no time, and in which case, why are you watching this video? And even more importantly, why are you going to music school? You're already really good, so you should just start your music career. Just kidding, you can go to music school, do whatever you want, but if you're a normal person like me, you're probably gonna wanna do several different takes, and even if you are getting super good takes on all of them, you're gonna wanna have different takes to choose the best one out of. The thing with jazz, of course, is that you're improvising all the time, so there's this element of uncertainty, and you might have perfect technical execution on all of the takes, but maybe in another take, you like the actual material that you came up with in your improvising a lot better. And in order to do this, you're gonna have to give yourself time to do all those takes, so I would give yourself at least like 4 to 5 hours, and you should have all the material prepared probably 2 weeks in advance. I will say, when I did my pre-screens for undergrad at University of Miami, I didn't follow this advice. I definitely knew the material that I was gonna play, but I waited kind of until the last minute to do the recordings. I did give myself enough time, but I should have done them a little bit more in advance so I wasn't waiting until like the last day or two to do the recordings. And the reason was that I thought it would be a better idea to just give myself more time and give myself as much time as possible to practice. But I don't think it was really worth it just waiting until the last second and trying to practice and practice and practice, because then you kind of overthink it a little bit too much. Okay, so tip number 3 is pick repertoire that isn't the same as everybody else. So most schools, they kind of have very similar requirements where they want you to pick like 3 to 5 different tunes that are all contrasting styles. So usually like a swing tune, and everybody picks Autumn Leaves. And then something like a Latin tune, and they'll pick Blue Bossa. You all know what the tunes are. They're the same tunes that every single person picks. Now, there's nothing wrong with these tunes. They're all great tunes, and that's the reason why everybody picks them. But when everybody's picking the same tunes, then all the faculty at the school, they're sitting there and they're listening to the same tune like 30 or 40 times, and they just start to fall asleep listening to all these pre-screens. So if you can throw another tune in there, or 2 or 3 that are unique that other people probably won't pick, it's gonna catch their ears a lot more. Some tunes that I think can work really well are tunes like Dewey Square or Old Milestones for bebop tunes. Tunes like Juju and United and Valse Hot for a 3-tune, you know, a waltz. Pretty much any monk ballad is a ballad, so like Panonica or Around Midnight or Ask Me Now. And a tune like Nobody Else But Me for a swing tune. Any of these tunes, if you throw them in there, most people are probably not going to have those tunes in there. You might have 1 or 2 of them, but the overwhelming majority of people won't have those tunes. Number 2, focus on the fundamentals in your improv. So when you're in an audition situation, it's really tempting to try to play like the most impressive stuff that you can come up with. playing fast and technically impressive things and think that that's what's going to get you in or get you a scholarship. But I think it's much more important to just focus on the fundamentals, because really these auditions are about what your potential is, not where you are right now. If you can really demonstrate solid fundamental playing, like playing nice melodies and motifs, playing with good time, and playing with good dynamics and leaving space, it's gonna make you come off as a much more mature player, and it's really simple to implement. You don't need to practice a ton and develop all these technical abilities to do these things, to really implement these fundamentals. You obviously do have to practice though. Also, if you're doing recordings with a group, one of the super most fundamental things that you need to be doing is listening to other people in the band. Even though it's an audition and you're doing this tape to show how you play, you also want to show how you play with other people. And listening is one of the most, if not the most important thing that you should be doing when you're playing with other people, because this is going to allow you to interact. And this is what jazz is really all about, improvising. It's not about showing off all your cool licks. It's about listening and creating really great music on the spot. If the faculty can see that you can listen really well while you're playing, you should be able to listen just like you're not playing, you're listening to a record and you're listening to all its details. You should be able to listen to everybody else in the band just like that when you're playing, and not just be stuck in your own little world. If they see that, they're gonna think you're really, really mature, great jazz player, and it's gonna be a really good look for you. And don't get me wrong when I say this, I still need to work on all this stuff just as much as anybody else. And my number one tip to having a fantastic pre-screen video and audition in general is to relax. In my opinion, relaxing is actually a skill. And this is a skill that's gonna benefit you all throughout everything that you do with music and really life in general. So the more and more experience that I've gotten with playing music, the more I've realized that the way that I play has a direct correlation to how relaxed I am. If I'm building up tension and I'm really nervous, it's almost impossible for me to play well. And even if I can play well, I certainly am not gonna play as well as if I was totally relaxed and feeling natural. The more relaxed I am, the better I play, period. And with this knowledge, I've made it a really high priority whenever I'm playing anything to focus on relaxing first. Now, auditions can be a really nerve-wracking situation, but one thing that I think is really helpful to think about is to just be grateful that I even get to do it in the first place. There are so many people who go through their entire lives and will never have the opportunity to go to music school or even play an instrument in general. They won't have that access. And those people, if they got that opportunity, I think that they would just completely relish in the moment and they wouldn't get nervous or anything like that. They would really appreciate it. So I think it's really important to focus on having that perspective whenever you're doing anything having to do with music, really. The worst thing that can happen to you is the music school says no to you, and that's it. Who cares? There are so many musicians who have gotten rejected from music school and went on to have amazing careers. And hint, hint, most of the people you're going to be studying in music school didn't go to music school. If you have the right attitude and you work hard, you will be successful at music no matter what, as long as you don't give up. And on the flip side of the coin, you can be in the best music school in the entire world. And if you have a crap attitude and you don't work hard and you don't do the right things, you're gonna fail, period. So if you made it this far in the video, good luck. I'm sure you're gonna do great. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button if you want me to help you get better at guitar every week. And until next time, listen, learn, and jam.